Hello, welcome once more to the next tutorial. Before we continue, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe and share to our YouTube channel so you can keep up to date with all our recent tutorials in the various programming languages and every other news update. Now, we are going to continue further to look at some of the various data types and data structures in C and how to implement and use them. And this is just a tutorial, so we are going to just declare them and then we use them. We declare them and store values inside them and retrieve the values. That's what we are going to do. Now, let's just discuss a little about how these variables can be initialized. Now, in C, there are many different types of data types and data structures that we can use. In C, we can use, for example, let's go to data types. We can use data types like integers, which we saw already. We can use real numbers. In C, they are called floats. We can use real numbers. We can use there were others. We can use characters. We can use strings. And for C, I think this is so far the data types that we can use. We can also start exploiting data structures. We can exploit arrays. We can exploit records. We can exploit linked lists. And there are many others. Now, take note, each of these data types and data structures that we have listed here, all of them can be represented in C, and each of them has a specific name, has a way of initialization. So let's dive directly into what we are talking about. So we are going to open our dev C++ as usual. We create a project and we give the project a name. So let's say using data types, we're going to put a C program, console application. We click on OK. We create a new folder and we call it using data types. We're going to save our work inside it, and of course clear your working environment. All of this is just to make your work look neat. You can see code without doing all of this. Alright, so for this particular tutorial, I'm going to create memory locations, and we are going to exploit the various data types, that's integers, real numbers, characters and strings, all in this single tutorial. So the first one we are going to use will be integers, which we saw in the last tutorial. And in C, to declare a memory location, we first of all start with the data type and then we move ahead with the name. So we are going to put the data type here int. In C, integers are called int, and we are going to call age semicolon. The next one we want to do is we want to collect height. So height is a real number. In C, real numbers are represented using float. So the data type is float, and we are going to call it height. The next one is to use a character. So let's just say we want to create a location for gender. In C, characters are represented using the word char, and then we just say gender semicolon. So gender is a location, char is a data type, that is what it defines what will be stored in that location. The next one we want to apply strings, so we want to get a name, for example. So we are going to still create, remember in C, A string is simply an array of characters. So we're going to write a char, like written the char name, and then we define the total number of characters that will be represented in that array. Take note, arrays are simply data structures that can store multiple elements in different segments of a particular memory location with the same identifier. So we're going to have 10 different characters stored in a single memory location called name, but in different segments. Now, this right here is declaration of a character, while this is declaration of a string. The difference is that here we have at this level we have the data type, the identifier, whereas for the string we have the data type, the identifier, and the size of your string. So we're going to now create our output instructions using printf. So we're going to say printf, we open and we ask a polite question, please give us your first name, of course /n, and every program ends with a semicolon. So printf, please give us your first name. At this level we are going to now collect the name, and of course we are collecting the name to store it under name, which is a string. So in C, to store data into a location called name where the data type has been declared as string, we are going to use %s, our assignment statement, and then the name of the memory location without writing the size. So we put like that. Now we are going to collect, with this we are going to collect the input, which will be called the first name of the person. We store it inside the location called name, and we are using %s to initialize that location. The and symbol you see here is the assignment statement, which means store in. So we're going to do the next printf. So let's collect the height, please. Input let's collect the next thing, should be height. Let's take, please input your height. So we're going to do scanf, of course, which is the input instruction. So for scanf here, which is the input instruction, we want to collect height, and the height is a float. Float means that the height is a real number. It can be having decimal, so it can be fractions. Now with float, we are going to initialize the location using %f. We put our assignment statement and we write the identifier, which is called height. Every instruction ends with a semicolon. The next, we're going to do our printf again. The next output instruction, we're going to say, please input your gender. Put our /n for beginning on a new line. And remember, we are typing in small letters. So we are going to do scanf. The gender you want to take is considered as a character. So for C, we are going to initialize the location using %c. And we'll put our comma, the and symbol, and we store that under gender, semicolon. And finally, the last instruction, which is to collect age, printf. Please input your age, %n. Scanf. So we want to collect age and we declare it as an integer, so we go with our %d, which is used to declare, %d is used to declare a short signed integer. So we are going to call it age. No, the and symbol, assignment statement, and age. We put that. So what we have written here, we have an output statement that tells the user what we want to collect, and we have an input statement that collects what will be given by the user. So we can now write our output instructions to actually tell us what has been collected. That's to pick up the information that has been stored in memory. Now we are going to say summary of your information. So let's just write summary of your input. Of course, we want to begin on the next line. We want to begin 2 lines below. Now let's take 1 line. Let's just do 1 line below. Instead here, we go for 2 lines below. And we do this. We put our semicolon at the end. So to reduce our coding effort, we will just write one output instruction, and then we copy and just modify. So we are going to put that your name, or we just write name. So name, we put percentage S, which is what we used. We put our comma and the identifier name. So to reduce our coding effort, we'll just copy all of these, and then we paste it and modify for the next one, which is height. Our height, we used percentage F. So we changed the identifier to what we have up here, height. We come down again, we change the name, and then we use gender, which is what we collected. We're going to put gender, and for the gender we'll put percentage C, and we change the identifier to gender. We do the next thing again. We're going to now put, is there something else to collect? We have put in the age. Okay, we have not put in the age, so we're going to now put the age, percentage D, and we change the location of the identifier to what? Age. So now we are done with the program. Let us see if this will work. We change the name to using data types, save, and we run it and see. Okay, no error, 0 error, 0 warnings. Let's execute and let's see. So please give us your first name, David. Please input your height, 1.70. Please input your gender and your age. We now see that there's a small slight problem there. Let's modify our code to check what the error was. So at the level of, let's remove this. At the level of printf, we have please give us your first name, that's okay. Give us your height, percentage F, that's okay. Please input your gender, percentage C and gender, that's okay. Age, that's okay. Let's compile. We run the code again. So we got David, height 1.7, age 30. Okay, let's debug the code. So here we don't have the percentage, the /n, which makes our work to appear a little bit blunted, /n 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 again, and then we'll put get char, get character, all right. Let's test it all again and see. All right, no errors. First name David, height 1.7, age 30, and we have summary of your input. Name David, height 1.7, gender age 30. Okay, that's done. Okay, see you in the next tutorial. This is how we use the various variables, but I don't know why the gender isn't actually showing. Okay, in our next tutorial we are going to modify the code for gender and see what happens. Before that, let us attempt something. Let's eliminate everything and leave gender alone and see if it works. Okay, we don't need a name, we don't need the height. We don't need the age. Alright, let's compile and see. Okay, 0 errors. Let's run. Okay, in this case it's asking us for the gender. So we write our male and it gives us summary of your input is male. Alright. So our code was correct, and this is how you use the various data types, the basic data types, integers, real numbers, and characters, and also strings in C. In the next tutorial we are going to exploit further things, and you can see that the code we use for gender is actually perfectly working. It could be glitches in my system that gives that gap. See you in the next tutorial. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share.